So, I think I've been on the internet for way too long in my life. Just a hypothesis, a little educated guess based on the fact that I have memories of watching the Numa Numa video on early 2010s YouTube like it was the rarest of comedy gold. Which it is. I'll die on that hill. And if you've been on the internet for long enough like me, chances are you've heard of something called roleplay. If you haven't, don't worry. Let me just dust off a dictionary real quick. According to the official Oxford definition, roleplay is to behave in a way somebody else would behave in a particular situation as part of a learning activity. No offense to Oxford for this definition, of course, but I'm fairly certain there's little learning to be had in the Five Nights at Freddy's roleplay category on Roblox. A more succinct definition of roleplay for this video is that roleplay is the act of taking on the characteristics for a character that is unlike yourself for particular situations or scenarios. So, essentially just the Oxford definition, but slightly to the left. You're stepping into the shoes of a character, either self-made or pre-existing, taking on their ways of thinking and acting for brief periods of time. Dungeons & Dragons is a popular roleplay game. Those whodunit games with prompts and characters you can choose to play as also count as roleplay, technically. So, now you might be thinking, okay, sure, why are you choosing Roblox of all places to explore roleplay then? And that's a good question, because I'm asking myself that too. Maybe it's the ability for anyone to make anything on a site like Roblox that makes it so ripe for potential when it comes to this topic. I know that when I was in the age range for this site, I would have loved to be playing some of the games they have on here now. Roblox allows pretty much anyone to make any game they could possibly want with some family-friendly restrictions, so if there's any place I can find content on, it'll be Roblox. If you just look up roleplay on Roblox, you're going to find a lot. I figured it would be best to sift through the most popular ones first and see what I could find. Brookhaven and Berry Avenue and Bloxburg and Prison Escape and Freggy. There's a category called real-life roleplay, and a lot of them also have the same basic concept. Choose a role in a neighborhood and roleplay out your daily life with other people on the same server. It's like a virtual version of those playground games you might have played where you just mimic a child's idea of adult life with other children. You've got the mother, you've got the father, you've got the baby, maybe someone will be the pet. Except, fun fact, no one's really role-playing on these servers. At least, I couldn't find any actual roleplay happening on the scale they advertise. Brookhaven stands as the most popular with over 400,000 people online at a given time, and yet a majority of the servers I hopped through were kind of boring, actually. Again, I'm not the target demographic, but what I feel like Brookhaven has become is more of a place for online friends to goof around and spend time together in here and there. I'm sure there's some people actually using these servers for their intended purposes or having a good time, but I'm not one of them though, unfortunately, so I'm gonna move on to the next one. Moving on to city life. A thing this game does differently is that there's specific categories with specific features to them. Two of which are police and criminal. And another thing city life does differently from other roleplays is that if you choose either of those options, you've effectively enabled PvP between someone who chose the opposite group as you. Also, criminals and police get guns. I opened this server for the first time and got to hear gunshots playing behind the cheerful intro music, so that was pretty fun. I will say there's something inherently funny about cooking people their burgers utterly oblivious to the chaos beyond my beloved restaurant. What's that? Taking too long? Do you see the state of the outside world right now? But again, no real roleplay. I think most people who log on to City Life are doing so to do some PvP and not live out the intricate lives of a modern-day breadwinner. I have to give it credit that the tasks each job type is assigned to do are entertaining at the very least, not just the ones that let you fight other people. The chef job also gave me a company car, and guess what I figured out you could do with it? Why am I allowed to do this without consequence? Oh yeah, because the cops are busy doing this. Okay, that's enough city life. Prison Life fits into the same category of a shooting PvP game with minimal roleplay, which is fine because it was pretty fun once I got the hang of it. For 5 minutes. In hindsight, I realized that maybe proper roleplays are happening in private servers instead of public, which would make a lot of sense. Less meddling from random people and more meddling with people specifically on someone's friend list. So I'm not exactly getting the authentic Roblox roleplay experience, but I am getting an experience. Some kind of experience. The conclusion I came to after a good few hours of data collection is that real-life roleplays aren't for me either way. There's a saving grace, however. Why stop at 9-to-5 jobs when you can just run around on 4 legs and bite things to death? Animal roleplays are exactly what they sound like. Join a server and become a variety of animals depending on what the game allows you to do. There's a lot to sift through here as well, so here's a few highlights. Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition is a game based on the hit book series Warriors, that revolves around groups of feral cats called clans out in the woods and experiencing politics. This game allows you to choose one of 4 clans, or outsider roles as they call it, and have your character interact with other peoples. As cats. It's fantastic. This is a game that first dropped me into the world of Roblox roleplay, surprisingly enough. You're given a wide variety of character customization options, which is probably one of the biggest reasons people love this game so much. Its community is impressively sized, and that also means the variety of roleplays you'll find on any given server is quite expansive. I've realized now that if you want to actually try and get a storyline going that's worthwhile on any given server, you're going to have to jump around a lot and hope for the best. It's a luck of the draw sort of thing unless you're going in with friends, and even then the server's current plot or attempt at a plot might not suit what flavor of roleplay you'd want at a given time. I'm speaking like I'm an expert on this, I'm really not. This is a game I only really hop onto with friends or to pass time. I'm not fully aware of its inner workings or community culture. I just like playing as a cat living with societal structure. If cats in the great outdoors aren't your style of four-legged beast, however, why not enter the greater outdoors and fight for your life in brutal conditions? Cenozoic survival takes things to another level. The game is still being smoothed out, but its current concept is that you can choose between predator and prey, and then get tossed into an overworld where you'll have to survive. Most people in this game are going to end up choosing the elk or wolf option, at least that's what I've most commonly seen running around, and is primarily what the game advertises anyways, packing or herding. The flavor of roleplay you'll find on the server is referred to as realism, essentially just living out life as these animals as realistically as possible in an environment like Roblox. It's kinda peaceful, actually. Being a deer is fairly peaceful at least. People will make herds in the game you can join and then just chill with. Same with packs if you choose to be a wolf, as survival chances are far, far higher for either animals in groups. Hence why realism roleplay is considered the standard here. You're basically destined to gravitate towards other players if you want to not die out. There's a shockingly low amount of active wolf roleplays. I was almost certain there would be, on average, 2. Animal life exists, though. What is that noise? Oh, I'm a fox. Why is it you? Is it you, Experiment 300? If you've entered a good handful of Roblox servers like I have at this point, you begin to get the gist of things pretty quickly. Each different game has its own style and flair to it. You've got horse games, dragon games, pet simulators, the list is practically endless. I sifted through some more of these and found that, yeah, a good majority of them are pretty fun. Others just don't align with my tastes. There's an entertainment aspect to just running around and getting into the mindset of something or someone else, even if it's for a good few minutes. Some of the more serious roleplay servers here do have players who are dedicated to making good stories, simply because they like to do so with each other. Now there's one more category I want to look into. I don't even know what to call this one, so let's just stick to pre-existing property roleplay then. Sometimes you just want to chill out in a world based on your favorite show or book or movie or whatever. Pre-existing property roleplay, that's a tongue twister, allows you to do just that depending on whether or not your desired games are active. The Warrior Cats one I mentioned kind of loops back around into this category too. That's sort of the appeal of this category. I'm going to fire off a bunch of titles now and hope for the best. Starting with the obvious, or not so obvious. Not many active Disney roleplays because of copyright. Maybe. Except this Encanto one somehow? Don't know how. A lot of Five Nights at Freddy's roleplays, which is to be expected with a game as popular as FNAF. This one sent me into an evil maze dimension. SpongeBob fans roleplay is a fun little experience with exactly no one playing it. The reason this category is last ended up being because there's little to be found in a majority of categories, but when I do find something, it's usually very fun. Not even in a good game way, sometimes just in a wow, this exists kind of way. There's a Bad Guys roleplay. You know, hit 2022 animated movie The Bad Guys? Okay, after all this time spent playing Roblox, I don't remember how much information my brain is capable of processing anymore, but I'm going to try. The Roblox world of roleplay is expansive, and I'd go even farther to say the Roblox world in general is expansive. Extremely expansive. Its entire concept is allowing people to make their own thing, and because of that, it's almost just interesting enough to try and piece together the thought process behind everything I've stepped into. I've started this video with... No, it would be lying to say I started this video with a grand statement to make. This was just fun, and kinda glitchy at times, and my laptop fan frequently made noises equivalent to an airplane taking off. An authentic way to play Roblox games, I think. And remember, if you don't like roleplay, then there's always Escape Running Head instead. If you made it this far into the video, congratulations. I've been getting an influx of support recently, plenty of really lovely comments from people, and it's all been incredibly encouraging for me as a small creator right now, so I'd just like to take a moment and say thank you. If you like this video, then feel free to like, comment, do whatever, maybe even subscribe if you're up for my future content that'll be coming out. Otherwise, have a good day, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.